Alright, this is a bit of an impromptu video. Kind of a response to, not really Linus's video on it, but that's where I found out about it. But, the concept of, the Shadow, streaming service. So, yeah, I think so. There's a lot of naysayers in the comments. There's also a lot of people bashing those naysayers, and it's one of those things where it actually seems like it's more and more people basically saying this is not really this is gonna go down. This is not gonna get any business. Why are you trying to kill offline gaming, which actually is a very good point because this is a streaming service. You need an internet connection. I think the biggest issue is how it was titled. um First off, clickbait title: Linus Tech Tips. What you expect? The gaming PC days are numbered, all caps numbered with an exclamation mark. And he basically says this company wants to kill off traditional PC gaming and go to you know basically renting a PC. And that's where the problem is. First off, has public transportation never killed off automobiles? No, and they never will. You can't go off-roading on a public bus. You can't tell the bus driver to please go off-roading. I want to explore. Kind of a similar concept with your PC. You can't go into the BIOS with these virtualized not virtualized, they're physical PCs, but you're getting a virtual machine. You can't do that. It's a limited experience, and it will appeal to some people. Some people don't need vehicles. Just like some people with the Surface might not need a PC. But if you live in a rural area, you better bet your ass you need a vehicle to get around. And kind of the same thing with a PC. You will not, if you don't have good internet, this service will not be for you. And the service will not kill off anything. And I think, why use those words? You're making controversy, and I'm saying both to Linus and Shadow, you're causing controversy for no other purpose other than attention. There's no reason to. And yes, Linus says at the end, the goose is quacking a lot. Wonder if there's a mailman here. You're saying, he says at the end, no, this isn't for everyone. Just like, people haven't given off their like very expensive cars, and like a gaming PC is usually less expensive than a used car. So if you're middle class, even lower middle class, you can probably afford a very cheap gaming PC. And will play everything on max settings? No, but you also won't have latency issues, and you will own the hardware. And for some people, that means something. For some people, owning a music collection instead of streaming means something. They could do what they want with it. They own it. The same thing with movies and games, although you can argue you don't really own your games on Steam because of DRM, but that's a conversation for a different time. And it's so the controversy that I'm actually starting to kind of see unfold on my eyes is pissing me off because there's no point on it. Because, yeah, okay, so this irritates me and it irritates a lot of people. Streaming X as a service, or X as a service in general, instead of a one time purchase and now you own it. Oh, it's a service. Adobe is doing that now. And for some people, that works great. For other people, they just want to buy it and own it and don't have to make payments, even if it the down cost, the upfront cost, is more than several years of renting. It makes more sense to them. They get to own it. They get to use it offline. and that's a big thing here. Um, so let's talk about the hardware setup. So what I saw in the comments, which I now cannot find because I refreshed the page, I kind of regret that because they're kind of going a little crazy right now, is this apparently these apparently are running Xeons, which there's nothing wrong with Xeons, but for gaming, so Xeons have a very specific use case, and they're not high clocked parts. They're not high clocked CPUs. I just don't see why they would do that, and I also honestly don't really see why they would go with Xeon instead of something like Threadripper or Epic Part, actually, because it would make their bulk purchases a lot cheaper. And we're going to right now actually figure out, because okay, I explained to you guys why people are not happy with the statement that this will replace gaming PCs, which, relax guys, it won't. It will never replace gaming PCs, just like public transportation never replaced the automobile. So just calm down. I honestly think it would be a good complement to gaming PCs. I think, you can't afford a gaming PC, but you can pay $35 a month to game every once in a while. Great. It might be a good alternative for you. But to say it will replace is no. Stop it. But we're going to now look at, you kind of ballpark numbers, guess what parts they're using, because we know they're using 48 gigabytes of RAM. They're using 16 core CPU, but if they're using a Xeon, it might not be a 16 core CPU. It might be two 8 core CPUs on a dual socket motherboard, which actually will be the cheaper configuration, so I'm going to use that. And they're using 4 GPUs, which Linus said is typically GTX 1080s or Quadro P5000s. I think he said. We're gonna just do 4 GTX 1080s, say that's the bulk of what they're using, and at minimum, this is what they have to make. When they need to make a return on investment that's at least this per device in their server rack, which you saw there was a lot of. So let's go on to Newegg because they're a bit more organized. Newegg. Green Monday. Well, I guess that kind of dates the video. Well, yeah, I'm hoping it's going to come up on the same day that Linus's video came out. This is unscripted, impromptu. No components. I'm dumb. Oh, wait. Servers. There we go. Now, we want Intel because we know they're Xeons, and we want actually 8 core. And if I were a betting man, I would guess that they would be using this one, actually. And there's a few reasons. One, they're using 4 GPUs, which means that they need a decent amount of PCIe lanes. It doesn't need to run in full x16, but it needs to run, at least 4x8. These are 48 lanes. So that actually would allow you to run 2 in x16 and then 2 in x8. You won't have any for like PCIe SSDs if you do that, but you can always use SATA. So this is non-hyper-threaded, which actually, if you look at their servers, they're all 1U, and 1U is the exact height is 1.75 inches or 44.45 millimeters. So you could probably squeeze some 45 millimeter fans in them. Let's see. It's something like that. That's why they're so loud. Their fans spinning so fast. You don't have much space for cooling with them, which is especially if you have 4 GPUs. So a non-hyper-threaded 8-core part makes sense because hyper-threaded cores, they work. They're about 30% faster if you have an application that supports hyperthreading. It fully takes advantage of it, but it's also about 30% more heat output as well. Kind of scales a little bit there. So, and this is an 85 watt TDP, as you can see right here. So this makes sense for them to use in such a configuration. This is might be one of the reasons why they use Xeon. They might not have found an epic part that uses such a low TDP. I know they want to found a Threadripper. So let's get our handy dandy calculator out. All right. I already made the original video, but this is worth noting just because accuracy is important. The Xeon is in the virtual the VM is using a quad core 8 thread chip, which means that it is actually a hyper threaded part, which means it couldn't have been that Xeon Bronze that I showed you, which just makes it more expensive because that was like the cheapest Xeon part that would have fit all the criteria that I could have found. The other two, so the guy states right here, oh shit, here we go, that a speed of 2.3 gigahertz under load, which sucks. That's that's gonna hurt your gaming performance. Actually, it might not if you're doing high resolutions, but it's not. You're getting a quad core 8 thread CPU that only goes up to 2.3 gigahertz. This leaves a couple of options. Now, because they're in 1U racks, they might not be able to turbo up much. So they might have a hard cap on the turbo before temps get a little too out of hand. So it could be one of these. Xeon Silver, which compared to the bronze that I showed, which is right here, is over $100. Yeah, $120 more. Or it could be this, which is even more expensive. This is the only Intel Xeon part that shows 2.3 gigahertz, but that's the base base clock. And the person said that of 2.3 gigahertz under load. So I'm making the assumption, which might not be the best thing to do, that it's actually lower when it's not turboing up. Now, this silver Xeon right here, it still has an 85 watt TDP, so cool. Is at 1.8 gigahertz. Silver is at 1.7 gigahertz. Okay, and it will turbo up to 3.0, so there might be a limit on the turbo just because temps are not that great. I could see that. And this server would keep the same configuration, but $120 more. So just keep that in mind. Finding a more accurate representation of the part doesn't make everything that I'm about to say wrong. It just makes it more expensive, and I chose the cheapest parts again, as I said there, for a reason, giving Shadow the biggest benefit of the doubt here. And these do support two CPUs per motherboard. I looked at Intel's official page. So let's do 329.99 times 2 equals, okay, so $659.98. And the cheapest Intel 16 core standalone Xeon CPU was like almost $2,000. It was like $1,800 and 80 something, $1,880. So this makes sense from a price standpoint. Now 1.7 gigahertz, they're not fast. I don't know if they boost at all. Again, the review might actually say what speed they're at, and if that's the case, I might look like a massive idiot. But from a price standpoint, I'm gonna say the cheapest price parts for a reason. So now we're going to go to Actually, let's just do what was that for? Huh. Um LGA 3647 motherboard. Okay, so this configuration would need a dual socket, but you're still saving money for a dual socket. So let's look for what's a cheap dual socket? Um, will I be able to do no. No, I won't. Okay. So not this. They won't be able to put four GPUs on that. Um, not proper speeds. This actually looks like the cheapest one for that. Let's not that one. And I could be way off on what parts, but I am choosing the cheapest. Um, PCI Express 3.0. Wait, all of them are X6? Oh yeah, because you have two CPUs. That makes a lot of sense now. Okay. So, yeah, all of these are X16. So, 2, 4, 6. Yeah, okay. So, let's say they're using this. So we're gonna add, put the plus sign already. Um, $537.92 and $1,197.09 is actually not too bad right now. The RAM, they're using 48 gigabytes of RAM. I'm not sure what configuration. Um, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. Okay. So let's um look and see. Sometimes they have bundles of no. Huh. Okay, let's go back and products components. We want memory now. Um server memory. Would they be using unbuffered or buffered? I think it uses DDR4, right? Um okay, yeah. Um we want DDR4, apply. Um let's get the snipping tool out and just make a snippet of this calculator because I want to use the calculator. Can I have two calculators up? Um, I have two calculators up. That would be nice if I could. Yes, I can. Perfect. Okay, so this is the cost of the overall unit. Now, because I don't really feel my brain's not working. I am actually I have a cold, a sore throat, so talking hurts. 48 divided by, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. Divided by 1, 2 equals 4. So, okay, 4 gigabytes. Let's say they're completely filling them up. I don't know. I don't know, but I guess that makes sense. Um, 2066 DDR4. What does it support officially? Am I being dumb? Can I not find it? Okay, 2066. Let's just do 2066. 2066. 2666. Um, PC4. Z3. Let's see what it says. Where'd it go? Um, it doesn't say. It does not say. Um, does it say what pins? Okay, it's not a SODIMM. Those are not SODIMMs, so that solves that problem. Where did it go? Um, this, there's only one of those, so I'm sure that's not gonna be it. Um, okay. Now we want don't really care about the brand. I'm not sure if that motherboard likes buffered or registered or unbuffered. I honestly don't know. Um, okay, wait, here we go. 4 GB per module. Apply. Okay, we have only one option. So if they are, yeah, is that? So this has registered. I'm sure that that motherboard will probably take both. I might be wrong. Okay, so 59.51. Where's the calculator? Where's the calculator? We want you. Um, 50 plus. Wait, let's do plus. Wait, let's first do where's the other calculator? Come here. Okay, let's clear that. We don't need this anymore. Let's do 59.51 times 12 equals $714.12. Okay, so we're just gonna add $714.12, and that will go to $1,912.02. Okay, so that's with the RAM. Now we need storage. So let's first inspect the motherboard. Um, remember they're using a 1U, so they can't really do anything like they can't really do anything like can't do anything like a 3.5 inch probably. Is probably going to take way too much space. Can do 2.5 inch, but I'm looking for M.2 drives, and I see one. I see one M.2 right there. I do not see another. So, if they are using this board, which they might not, I don't know what board they're using. I might be blind too. I don't see any M.2 mounting holes. Wow, this is a busy board. Um, hmm. Wonder why there's M.2 there and not there. Okay. So all I see is an M.1, M.2. So, let's say they're using a M.2 256 gigabyte SSD. I don't know if this board supports both PCIe and SATA through M.2. They usually do, but not always. I'm just gonna go for whatever's cheapest, whether it's compatible or not. Um, and we're gonna do one terabyte 2.5 inch hard drive, and we're gonna do 1 TB 2.5 inch because I don't really see a 3.5 inch drive fitting in a 1U server rack case. It might. I might be wrong, but with all the GPUs and all that, we're gonna go with that. So we are now going to go to um divorce supplies, SSDs, then hard drives. So we're gonna want both of those. So we want an M.2 and we 2280. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but I think um and we want 200 and 120 gigabytes to 275. There we go. Um 240. It's specifically 256. So have that, and that is a um I mean that's what I would personally choose for my computer if I could only do 250. Well, that's 250 gigabytes, so maybe not that one. um 2280, 250. Super cheap. But we're looking for 256, 256, because that was what was specifically said. Wait. No. That's funny. Um, so Plex drawer. Um, uh, so that Patriot looks pretty cheap. Um, $2.99 shipping. Anything cheaper? Let's just go with that. $50. Um, that's this is a SATA, but SATA would work fine. I mean, it's not going to be the fastest, but plus 49.99 equals. Wait, wait, what just happened? I think. Oh, okay. Wrong one. Plus 49.99 equals. Okay, $1,962.01. Now we're going to go to mechanical hard drives, internal, um, form factor. Where's the form factor here? Form factor. There we go. 2.5, and we want size to be 500 gigabyte to 1 terabyte. So probably a Seagate of some sort. Some expensive Seagate. Okay, this seems way too expensive. Um, let's round down the price. There we go. 500 gigabyte though. It doesn't seem right. No, not 2 terabyte, 1 terabyte. Too cheap to use 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes. All right, there we go. I don't know why it didn't show up, but I knew that that was too. It was just too much. This is 3.5 though. 2.5. No, they have 2.5 versions. Here we go. 2.5 laptop. Yeah. See, I mean, they have up to 5 terabytes. So I know once you get past 2 terabytes, they get quite a bit thicker. They're like 15 millimeters compared to like 9.5 millimeters. But let's see if you switch to 4 terabyte. That is still 2.5, but look how much thicker it is. So yeah. But still, how much more is 2 terabyte? Oh, okay. It's not that much more for a 3.5 inch, but okay. So let's add plus 44.99 equals, all right, $2,007. It's funny how that wouldn't just straight up equal. I actually totally forgot the GPU part, so that's awkward. So let's fix that. So let's go. The total was $2,007. So here's a GTX 1080 for $550. I don't see any lower $550. That's what I paid for mine. I'm going to let's see if there's a price. 400, 500. Fly. There's like three. Um, okay, so they're all refurbished. Okay, so let's just be super generous and say they got four $500 GTX 1080s in there. So that would equal $2,000. So let's tack on another 2,000, $4,700. $4,007 is what we go to. Let's actually just round that down to 4,000 just to make things a bit more easier on ourselves. We're not gonna do any math, but might as well do it like that just in case. Now all right, so this is what their server room looks like, and we're gonna go back here. Okay, so their plans are start at, well, their plans are only, there's only one plan that I can see. It was $34.95, but I'm gonna go round up to $35, just to make it easier. So 35, each one of these. So as I ended up correcting myself, which actually means this actually should be at least $120 more, just to make that clear. But we're giving them the benefit of the doubt that there actually is a hyper-threaded Xeon in there, and I'm going to assume that's two 8-core, hyper-threaded 8-core parts, because that is cheaper than a single hyper-threaded 16-core. It actually is the same TDP with the hyper-threading on as well. That means that you get 4 cores, 8 threads, 16 cores, 32 threads. Divide that by 4, that's 4 cores, 8 threads. 48 gigabytes of RAM, divide that by 4, that's 12. And 4 GPUs in there. Well, you're giving each person a single GPU, according to Linus. So each one of these 1U server cases can provide a virtual PC for up to 4 people. So let's do 35 times 4 equals 140. Okay, great. What is their yearly revenue per box? So because each box is, if we're being very generous, $4,000. It's probably quite a bit more, but if we're being generous, so yearly, so we're these can give sorry, these can give a PC for 4 people, so up to 4 people paying what is like a year down the road, profit wise for Shadow. So let's multiply this by 12, and that is $1,680. That's a lot less than $4,000. So here's actually a question: when is their return on investment? Is this company in debt? This is actually an important question. They have this bold claim, at least according to Linus, that they want to replace the traditional PC. That's what they say they want to do. Well, will you guys be afloat in a year or 2 years? Or will you just go belly up? Because let's see, how much does this need to increase before we actually make a profit? So let's go back to 140. Let's multiply it by 2 years, 24 months. It's still not quite there yet. Okay, let's do it again. 140 multiplied by, let's do 26 months. Still no. 140 multiplied by 30 months. Okay, we're making a $200 profit after 30 months. All right, that was a phone call I had to get. Let's try 29 months. 140 multiplied by 29 equals 4. Okay, so that's so 29 months is, if we are being very generous, what we'll pay for each and every one of these devices. That is 2 years and 5 months. So that's almost 2.5 years, if my math is correct, which it might not be. Um, and that's not considering the power supplies, all these cables, the server cabinets themselves, which can go to around $1,000 easily, and it's not considering the server cases. Equate these. I did not equate these into the equation. I'm being extremely generous here. So let's go back to this, and in 29 months, which they're not actually, because I know that they're using a more expensive CPU. I actually paid for so unless you're getting huge bulk prices, which for manufacturing kind of happens, but for existing piece of hardware, you get like 10, maybe 20% off. So again, with the cost of everything else, this is being very generous. This $4,000 per unit. So okay, 4, 8, 12, 16. That's $1,600 for those four right there, at least. And 16, 3,200. How much money has this company spent on these devices that and don't get me wrong, this $35 is not a bad price. It's not. I mean, eventually it will cost you more than getting a gaming PC, and oh well, you won't be able to keep it up to date. That's true. That is true, but at the same time, most people don't upgrade their computers annually. You get a super high-end PC and you sit on it for a few years. So again, the costs, the value proposition of all of this is questionable. And then they're saying that they are going to upgrade these every once in a while, so you will always be able to play on max settings. And it's like, how much in debt are you already? If you're not in debt, great. But I don't see, with their current pricing and what I was able to pick out for parts pricing, to be sustainable. Unless they're not going to upgrade their infrastructure for a long, long time, which they might. It might be like 3+ years until they upgrade. And that's when you have to kind of wonder, well, am I getting... I mean, like I said, typically 1080, so you're not getting ray tracing. Maybe they'll have like a premium for a ray trace graphics card, great. But it's already a low clock to Xeon, which is gonna limit you. It's going to limit you, plain and simple. And then you have to have a decent internet connection, not a great internet connection, but you need to have something decent. So if you live somewhere rural, you can't have this, plain and simple. And I think this is a problem. A lot of these people have. I mean, clearly they have good internet. What's their heating bill like? What's their heating? Not heating bill. Their heating bill's probably actually pretty good. What's their electric bill like? What's their there's a lot of cost factors. They have to hire people. What's their heating bill like with all these? Like each one of these, how many watts each one of these? I mean, I don't know what those are rated for. It's all it. I cannot see this being sustainable, and they want to replace the traditional desktop. They want to replace the traditional gaming PC. I don't see it happening. Sorry to break it to you, but I don't see this, and I could be wrong. I might be wrong, but I don't see this sustainable. I don't see, with the cost of these alone, plus everything else, the bills and having to hire people, it just, the whole video seemed like a massive ad. And again, it used something that was controversial. It was a controversial statement. Oh, we're going to replace all gaming desktops, which they're not. But it just felt like a easy way, stir up some controversy and then get views. Even if you, negative attention is usually better than no attention when it comes to advertising. You just keep that in mind. So let's not look at this as, let's not see, Shadow isn't gonna take all our gaming PCs away. Shadow the Hedgehog. That's actually a pretty horrible mental image right there. Shadow the Hedgehog breaking into your houses and taking all your computers. So Shadow the Hedgehog isn't going to be taking our computers anytime soon. Actually, never. Is never going to take them. This is going to, at best, be a good complement to a traditional gaming PC. And it seems like these people are trying to give users the best experience, so the things that they find out might be useful for us down the line, because a lot of us super big enthusiasts are considering streaming our own gaming PC to like our smartphone when we're at work or on commute, and that would be great. That would be real good because you're not using it; it's just sitting there at home. And the techniques that these people, that Shadow the Hedgehog, is trying to figure out to speed things up and give us maybe as little latency as possible, could be useful for us enthusiasts that want to do this ourselves. Not to this scale, just our desktop that's next to our desk, or on top of our desk, or wherever you put your desktop. So I think that's all I have to say. Again, I honestly, after seeing all that, especially because I made a mistake with the GPUs, I forgot to add them in. With the GPUs, how much each of these units cost and how much they're charging people, and the maximum amount of people they can support, I just don't see this being that lucrative. I could be wrong. Perhaps very few people are on it 24/7 so they can shuffle, so there's a lot more people using one of these instead of just 4. That might be the case. But even then, it has to be over double, and it looks like with all these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 2, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Is at least 40 there, and 4,000 times 40, let's figure that out right now. 4,000 times 40 equals 160,000. That's not an insignificant amount of money. Okay, for a business loan, okay, that makes sense, but will they be able to pay it back? When will they be able to pay it back? Will this company just be in? And that's what all this we see right here. There's probably lines and lines of these. How much will we be able to? How much will they be able to support? Again, I don't know if this is a model that they can actually be able to maintain themselves off of. So again, now I'm kind of repeating myself. I don't really have much else to say. Again, don't get too super upset about, oh, they think they can take our they think they can they can't replace gaming PCs. They never will. They might get some people who are wanting to try out gaming, or don't, the non-enthusiasts, they might win those people over, And that's fine. Again, like I said, this is a good complement to traditional gaming PCs, but it's not a replacement. And if we look at it as what they're trying to do technology wise and how we could possibly use it ourselves, I wish them the best of luck. And now I'm done. So, bye.